it's Ben Zinn with nextlevelguitar.com, and in today's lesson we have for you 3 melodic bluesy runs that you can apply over the jam track. This is a great way to add a little bit of melody into our lick-based playing, kind of inject a different flavor, and so we're going to take a look at 3 examples that we can use over this great jam track and hopefully use in all of our playing, right? Before we continue on with the examples, I just want to say please subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out. Leave us a comment down below if you dig it. We love interacting with you guys and chatting about lesson concepts. Let us know what you guys are working on, what gear you're playing. We'd love to hear from you. And give us a thumbs up if you dig the lesson. That helps us out a ton. So we do appreciate it. But melodic-based concepts over this jam track. So there's a couple of different ways to approach this. The first tact that I'm going to take is the idea of using half steps and some prebends, just some ways to get outside of maybe just the straight pentatonic bass playing. And since we're in E minor, we're going to find ourselves up here around the 12th fret. What I want to do is I want to talk about a little prebend lick that I think works nice here. What we're going to do is we're going to take this 12th fret note here and we're going to bend this up a half step so that we're reaching the pitch of the G note that's above it. Okay, so we want to bend that before we play it, and then we're going to pick and release it. So that little pre-bend lick there through a couple of strings is a nice way to add a little bit of melody to offset some of the straight pentatonic bass playing. And the basic concept there of the pre-bend is to make sure that you get the note up to pitch before you play it, and then pick and release. That's all we're doing on string 1. And then we're doing the same thing on string 2. And then on string 3 here, I'm going to pre-bend this up a whole step this time. And you just string that together into a lick. As with a lot of our lick examples over this jam track, I think you can apply them in a different position when the chord changes. So we can play this also over the B chord. Works well in that circumstance too. So in that example, using prebends and half steps to add some melody to your playing. You can use that overall concept with different note combinations to come up with your own lick examples based on that. In our next example, another way to inject some melody is to play the chord tones. So this is really easy when you're playing a minor chord because you have the minor triad spelled out for you right up here on the top 3 strings. So when I play that, that's simply an E minor chord. So I can use that as a core component to lick building. I might play those 3 notes in succession, and then follow that up with some scale-based playing. But I'm launching it with the strong chord tone notes here that are lined up right up here at the 12th fret for the E minor chord. And then when I go into pentatonic bass playing, it's got a nice counterpart to the straight arpeggio bass notes. Once again, can do that over the B minor chord as well by simply moving positions. So rather than, instead of just playing up the scale, that gives you another route to go to add a little bit of melody to play those chord notes. And you can then follow that up with other components that you like to play, pentatonic-based stuff, blues-based stuff, but basically using that arpeggio notes or those triad notes as the core of your lick, I think is a great way to add some melody to your playing as well. In our third example, we're going to have a longer climbing-based run. Okay, and so we're going to move through some areas of the fretboard to make this lick happen. So let's break down what we're doing there. Basically, my concept is to go up the scale, but then every once in a while I'm going to pivot back to a lower note. So I'm ascending, but every once in a while reaching out for a lower note so that I'm not just climbing the scale by itself. So we're going to start out here on the 9th fret E note here. Okay, we'll just build this up a section at a time. A little further. A little further this time. And I'm targeting this A note bent up to the B is kind of my final point there. So there's the whole run in its entirety. So based off the minor scale, we're ascending through the scale, and then we're just reaching for those lower tones to kind of offset it. That's the concept we're building there. So there we have 3 melodic runs that we can use over this jam track. Now what we're going to do is play these over the jam track for some context. And once again, if you want the jam track that we're using in today's lesson, all you have to do is click on the link that you see below. If you click on that link, what we're going to do is send you this jam track that we're about to play over, plus 5 additional jam tracks and 2 written lessons, 2 ebooks. A really nice component to our playing and practice time. Just click on the link. We'll send that all to you. So in our first example, we used Prebends. That was our first example. Now that we're playing over the track, let me elaborate a little bit. I'll improvise using those Prebends. You can kind of get the idea. You can use this core lick as your first lick. But then we can open it up a little bit, right? Play over the B chord. And vary it up, just using the Prebends as a jumping off point. Work that into some other improvisation, other licks. Prebends, right? Great way to play melodically. The second example was using the triads as a jumping off point and then going into some more bluesy bass playing. Three notes. You can even look for the inversions. Third example. Kind of that longer climbing idea, right? And offsetting that with some lower notes every once in a while. This in with other ideas that you have, right? So using these licks as a jumping off point, we have the 3 melodic based ideas, right? that we want to use. So there are our 3 concepts. Once again, thanks for checking out the lesson. Let's jam it out, and we'll see you next time.